The vampire of New Orleans was active in a cluster of communities in Louisiana for a period of 1 year beginning in 1918. During the height of public panic, the suspect mailed a letter to a newspaper in which he claimed he was not human. He boasted he had the power of invisibility. His crimes were not motivated by robbery, for nothing ever disappeared from the homes of his victims. What did disappear were the victims themselves. Some parishioners of Saint Beatrice Church came to the priest in fear of the trouble in Louisiana. Whole families were disappearing like dust in the wind. "Father Jette," they pleaded, "protect us from the vampire." It was 1911, and of criminal insanity, the public was blissfully ignorant. Father Henri Jette comforted them, and he promised he would look into it. Henri's first thought was to seek the advice of his friend, his only friend who was not a Catholic, but was a physician living in his parish. The doctor's name was J.J. Aubochon, also known as John. Whether the culprit sprang from the Roman Catholic parish, the men did not discuss, but Henri agreed with John that the suspect was most likely not a vampire. "It cannot be," the doctor protested. Henri replied, "However, if it is, it must be exposed to sunlight." The suspected vampire always entered the homes of his victims in the same way. He used a chisel to remove a panel from the door, then unlocked it by reaching inside. With a piece of chalk, John marked on a map the homes of the 9 missing families. A pattern formed, a trail, which followed the path of the railway. Then the physician and the holy man claimed a bench on a nightly basis outside one railroad station or another. At one station, they witnessed 4 policemen rousting a vagrants' camp which was hidden in the forest just beyond the rails. But law enforcement was looking in the wrong place. John believed the suspect was an employee of the railroad itself. When they had already seen dozens of loading docks, they staked out the station at Cheneyville, which was along the suspect's route, but was not yet associated with any disappearances. Cheneyville was due for a visit from Nosferatu, or was it the hometown of the culprit? They observed the comings and goings of train personnel. They observed the arrival of a porter, of middle age and red hair. His appearance was a match for the description of the 2 witnesses. Within 24 hours they knew his name, Auguste Delagrange. He was an upstanding employee of the TNNO line, and they located his physical address. It was a shack in the bayou. No neighbors. When they knew him to be at work, they searched his house. A chisel was found, which was a match, with marks left on the doors. Now it was hard for them to come up with an excuse not to return when Delagrange would be at home. It was night when they returned. Henri laughed, because it occurred to him suddenly that neither he nor the doctor had a weapon. At the sound of laughter, Delagrange burst out of his hovel, but they were ready for him. John wrestled him to the ground. The priest got hold of his legs. No one knows how they managed to restrain the suspect throughout the long night. No one since then has ever asked of them, what did actually happen to the vampire at the rising of the sun? Did he burst into flame, or did he crumble into ash? This is the story that is told, and it begs the question of evidence. What evidence there is at the Vampire Museum on the fringe of the French Quarter, the public may view the skeletal remains of Auguste Delagrange, including his mummified heart.